Hello friends, now I am going to start the topic of Stupa of Sanchi. We have started to discuss about Mauryan art of sculpture and architecture, right? So the first topic for today is Stupa of Sanchi. As you know that it was built, Stupa of Sanchi was built in Mauryan period. So it is a well known and very important architecture to understand Mauryan architecture and Buddhist architecture too. It is situated at Madhya Pradesh. I repeat, it is situated at Madhya Pradesh. The original stupa of Sanchi was made of bricks. Remember, today which stupa of Sanchi we see is not original but it is reconstructed in later period in time of Kanishka rule. So remember one thing that today's stupa is double in its overall size and those days stupa was half in compared to today's size. This stupa is a Buddhist stupa. We know the meaning of the stupa, so you understand it. Buddhist stupa is considered to be precious specimen for art of architecture of Mauryan era. As according to the structure you can see the upper layer is the railing, thereafter the path is seen, then the outer wall is also seen in the picture. So nothing is in present day out of the people's knowledge. Everything is as it is available also. But what we see today is not a structure of period of Mauryan era. That I want to say, nothing else. Right? Okay. Next one is pillar inscription. So simply you can understand the order of religion aspect or the political aspect, the order given by the king was declared in those days on pillars. In period of Mauryan era, it was engraved on pillars. So it is called pillar inscription. Now you understand that these inscriptions are engraved on a single rock. Means the pillars were made from the single rock and on that pillar the orders were engraved. Some inscriptions were seen and even today are seen also as like the pillar of Sarnath. Some inscriptions are found today. Those inscriptions are written in Buddhist religious order and its script was Brahmi script. On the pillar of limestone and sand, the orders were written and it was associated with the Mauryan era, so it is important to understand. Okay, now I want to say that at which places these pillars have been found. So first you remember at Ambala, the second one was at Meerut, the third one was at Allahabad, fourth one was at Sanchi, fifth one was at Sarnath, sixth one was at Loria near Nandangarh, seventh one was in Kashi, eighth pillar is found in Patna, and last ninth pillar is found near Bodhi Vriksha, near Bodh Gaya. The Bodhi Vriksha is the place where Buddha got some enlightenment and came in light as Lord Buddha. So it is called Bodhi Vriksha. So remember, these all pillars were giving religious orders about Buddhist religion and engraved in Brahmi script. Is that clear? Okay, now you understand pillar of Sarnath. So out of all this, I am discussing about pillar of Sarnath. Here I want to give the height of the pillar, approximately 128 feet height, not a small one. And on the top, 4 lions were found, and these lions are seen with different direction. So 4 direction, 4 lions. In the bottom of these lions idols, there is a strip in a round shape. Each direction is having one wheel with 24 spokes, and in both the side of these wheels, engraved bullock and the horse are found. These symbol of lion, wheel, bullock and horse is adapted in our national emblem, with the bottom line is written with Satyameva Jayate. So remember one thing, that our ideology is coming from this symbol: bravery, energy, capacity to work, hard working, constant working. These are the messages. See, any emblem indicates so many messages. So please be carefully understand the meanings of every symbol. Otherwise we cannot understand the meaning of the emblem. So remember this, our idol of the 4 lion is adapted in our emblem, right? So this is the one of the best specimen of our pillar inscription. It is found in the Sarnath. So it is known as pillar of Sarnath. Now I want to discuss one thing more. Here the wheel you can see, it is called Dharma Chakra. Dharma Chakra means will of the religion, and sometimes the people are asking the meaning of the Dharma. Dharma means the way what we feel as the truth to follow is called Dharma. Remember. Okay, now I want to discuss one topic, that the stone inscription. What's the meaning of stone inscription, you can say? As like the pillar inscription, the orders of religion, political or social aspect was written in the earlier period on the different side of the stones. So it was called stone inscription. And same way it was engraved with Brahmi script. Here I want to discuss about different stone inscriptions, mainly in Junagadh in Gujarat state. The stone inscription is found. It is considered to be historical evidence because the stone inscription of Gujarat is giving us three different eras, dynasties, mindset and detail. On one side, the order is written from Mauryans. The other side, order was written in time of the Gupta dynasty. The third side is used for engraving the order on the same stone. I am saying the order was engraved of Rudradaman. It was a Shaka dynasty. So understand, three dynasties had indicated different rule, but out of this, the indication of the Ashoka's order is on this stone inscription in Junagadh. So it is called as a Mauryan evidence. Now I want to discuss that what is called stone inscription. Sometimes in exams question may ask, stone inscription carved by religious order of the emperors. Ashoka was one of the best specimen of engraving. Order of Ashoka was one of the best specimen engraving on the stone. Sometime on the wooden, the order was also written, but here the stone was used, and it is considered to be excellent specimen of art or sculpture and architecture. Erection of the pillar of wood and the stone, beautifully arched, engraved on the door with stresses religious behavior. So remember one point, these all stone inscriptions are giving information of religious orders, mainly sometime political, sometime social. Different kind of the orders were written. In Temple of Artisan in Ahmedabad, you can find inside the gate, in right side, inner side, right side of the gate, you will find a stone inscription which is giving detail about in which situation, who had supervised this temple which was constructed. The complete detail is given in Old Gujarati language and in Sanskrit language. So remember one thing, these all inscriptions are most important evidence of our art and sculpture. Okay, now here I have completed the four topics. First about Sarnath. Second I discussed about pillar inscription. Third I discussed about pillar of Sarnath. Then I discussed about explanation of stone inscription, right? So now I am continuing the topic with Dravidian style of art found in southern India. Many Buddhist stupas were built in region near Krishna and Godavari river in southern part of India during the reign of Satavahan kings. See, Satavahan was a one dynasty ruled India in southern part. In their period, the Buddhist stupas were constructed. These, see, it means the stupas found in the Krishna and Godavari river region, where semicircle, oval shaped, bell shaped stupas. Out of these stupas, one stupa in Nagarjunkonda and the other stupa in Amravati are considered as best specimen of art of Chola dynasty and Dravidian style of art. So remember, the Cholas are considered as great kings to adapt Dravidian style of architecture and to spread it out to the world. So the world knew the importance of these Chola dynasty's architecture. Out of this, we all know the architecture of Brihadeshwara temple, one of the highest and largest temple in India of the ancient period. That is Brihadeshwara temple. It was also constructed in the time of Cholas kings, Raja Chola or Rajendra Raj Chola. So it is called the importance of architectural development in period of Cholas. Understand this. So now I have discussed about the Dravidian art of architecture and sculpture. Now I want to discuss some small talk for Gupta period. It is not a small detail. For the Gupta period, you can say the golden period in all the way. Art, architecture, sculpture, literature, music, dance, in all the way you can understand the importance of Gupta period. So it is considered to be golden period of different arts. Here, in the period of Gupta dynasty, at so many places, different temples were constructed. Parvati temple at Jabalpur, the place is Ninava. The Bhumra temple near Nagoda village is of Lord Shiva. Aaron is the place in the state of Madhya Pradesh. There is Narsi temple, it is found. Thereafter Gopa Mandir in Jamnagar. Also stupas, chaityas, viharas, pillars, so many kind of the architecture have been constructed in Gupta period. These all examples are considered to be unique example of Gupta period, right? Again I repeat the name of the temples. Carefully listen. Parvati temple at Ninava village near Jabalpur. Second, in Bhumra, the village name is Nagoda. The temple is of Lord Shiva. The third one is a Narsi temple at the Aaron village in Madhya Pradesh state. Fourth temple is of Gop Mandir in Jamnagar, the Gujarat. Thereafter, stupas, chaityas, viharas, different pillars, different temples, lots of the constructions and architecture have been done in Gupta period in India. So, Gupta period is considered as golden period of art. Remember this line. Now we understand about some statues. In the Gupta period, statues of Lord Buddha at Sarnath, Lord Vishnu at Mathura, Lord Mahavir, as well as different caves in Udaygiri, and statue of Lord Vishnu in Varaha form is also considered as best specimen of sculpture, art of sculpture, best specimen in Gupta dynasty. So it means you understand Gupta period is not considered as with architecture, but it is also associated with sculpture too, right? So here I discuss the explanation of art of architecture and sculpture in Gupta period. Here one statement may come: Gupta period is considered as golden period of art. So the whole detail, as well as you have to add one point, that which other art people are knowing in Gupta dynasty, right? So there is a discussion of detail about Gupta period. It is very clearly stated in the syllabus. Okay, now I am going to discuss one important topic of cave architecture. This question is important question, including is small table of different caves. First we understand importance of cave architecture. See, caves at different places in India is very well known, like Ajanta, Ellora and Elephanta. You all know this. Thereafter, caves in Madhya Pradesh, near Gwalior in Bagh and Udaygiri, in Odisha, Bhuvaneshwari, also Khandgiri and Nilgiri. These are also best specimen of cave architecture of Gupta dynasty. In Gujarat, Khambalida near Gondal, Dhank near Rajkot, different caves near Junagadh. Thereafter, caves at Talaja and Sana. So in Gujarat you can find different caves in their respective era have been constructed, and you can understand its value. The cave inscription also found in period of Ashoka. It is engraved on a wall in different three caves in Barbar mountain. So now you can ask me question, where is the Barbar mountain is located? Near Gaya, 16 kilometers away. So understand one thing, that our kings were giving support to the artists of different art by promoting them to do different art in different places. So these caves and its construction is considered as best specimen of different kings, except it that the kings were promoter of the different art, so it was given importance. Okay, another caves are found from Assam, from Darjeeling. Darjeeling is today's West Bengal's region. Thereafter, Sudama cave is found in Bihar, and last, Sita cave. So it means all these caves are giving us importance of different art and architecture. So we are not discussing in detail about the Indian caves, but we will discuss in short about some caves of Gujarat here, right? So the first cave I am discussing is caves of Junagadh. See, understand, in Gujarat the caves of Junagadh are found in three groups of caves. Second, which groups are group of Baba Pyara caves, double storied caves, and group of Khapra and Kodia caves, right? So you understand one thing. Here I am discussing complete detail of the caves of Junagadh in Gujarat, right? So let us continue. Group of caves of Baba Pyara. It is called to be Baba Pyara Mutt. Three layers are found in the group of caves. Total 16 caves are there. First lane is having 4 caves. Second lane is having 7 caves. And the third lane is having 5 caves. So 4, 7, 5 comes to 16 caves. And they are curved. See, the period is also important when it was curved. These caves are curved in 1st and 2nd century AD, right? These caves are double-storied caves, and they might have been curved during 2nd century is assumed, and maybe in beginning of 4th century. So the starting of the caves carving was in the 2nd century, and its completion was in 4th century, late to the late. Last cave I am discussing about Gujarat in Junagadh is Khapra Kodia cave. See, remember, it is called as caves of Kund. Means here there is a well and some small pond is found inside the cave. So it is called caves of Kund. On seeing the remains, it can be said that they were floored caves. Floored caves means in the caves of Khapra Kodia there is a floor. 1, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd in the layer the caves are found, and these caves are curved in 3rd century. So you understand, all Junagadh caves are from 1st century to the 4th century maximum. The period is used, and these caves have 20 pillars. They are out of all the Khapra Kodia caves, some are exist but almostly ruined, right? So today I have discussed the cave architecture of Khapra Kodia with you, and other also topics, all topics we have discussed today. Okay, my friends.